Yeah, I probably should have got up some of the stuff before, but it's okay. So much easier now that I know how to share it and how to get it up. Oh man. What is up, everybody? So, if you are just tuning in, I love how I still have StarCraft 2 as my cover photo. I might just leave it because that is what I grew up on. And yeah. So, what we're gonna do, because I looked it up and it says that this artist does not have copyright infringement and he wants you to use his music as much as possible. So I am going to play some Tom MacDonald. I enjoy him a lot. He's just a true blue rapper, and he's amazing. And he gets some music in the background. Not everyone's cup of tea. I realize that, but it's something in the background. Now, basically what I need to do is try to. There we go. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna wait a little bit. We're gonna get some people in here. What's up, Josh? How you doing, man? Before we start going into a deeper dive of what I think the best skills are currently, what I think will be the best skills in Chapter 2 from the info that has been given, and how to kind of level your character up as fast as possible without going in the hole, and you're still making a little bit of profit here. And it's going to vary depending on kind of what skills you already have leveled up. I got my mill. I got to put construction powder. Making some construction powder on my mill that I rented. And then I'll be making a bunch of moo munches later. So let's go do that real quick while everybody is just tuning in. And we'll go over that in about 5-10 minutes. While everyone is tuning in and basically getting locked in. So there was a short update. I did miss a couple grills, sadly. I think I missed 12 or 13. I tried to be as quick as possible to nab those, but I was not quick enough. So normally I would still be working, by the way, but work has just pissed me off like a lot because they're kind of like refusing to update me on the 3 months that I was gone, and like a lot of things change because it's the IRS. So a lot of things just naturally change in the IRS, and they're refusing to update me. So I'm trying to read through everything, and I'm still taking inbound calls, which I have to find accounts that are totally new. It pissed me off. So I told my manager I'm done for the day. before I blow up on someone. And keep in mind, like, it's not like I have a bad work ethic. I've only been there for 6 months before I took my 3-month leave for maternity. And then during the last month, I was almost top of the charts getting there. So, and as you guys all know, I have a pretty good work ethic. I know this is a game, but I mean, when I set my mind to something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the very best. And that's just not in pixels. That is in everything that I do. But anyways, now that I've got that tangent over and I'm kind of chillaxed from that, we can kind of get down to what my personal belief is in the skills that are kind of highlighted right now, that kind of make you money, and you can kind of level really fast, really quick at the same time. So the first one is really good in profit making for the most part, but there's other skills. Yeah. Don't you have the shift before me though? So if we look at the skills over here, there's a couple skills that just pop out to me more than others. And forestry, so forestry is one of those skills, but I'm actually going to be bypassing that right now because besides renting trees, public trees are very hard to find. And normally you have to spend energy to try to cut them. And you might not get it. Is it worth it? For some people. For some people it's not. So that skill we're going to stay away from. I'm not even going to include that in the skills that I talk about. Even though I want to, we're not. So the number one skill that is on my list would probably be cooking, with a very, very close second as Granger. Dude, I mispronounce it every single time, and then you're gonna have Sherry in the chat break it down syllable-wise for me. But those would be my top 2 skills right now that I would recommend kind of getting up and power leveling. Now, the reason I say that is because windmills are very hard to find. CG does have 3 different teams, so they do have quite a lot of slots to get that leveled up. Granger, yeah. Yeah, I knew you guys would correct me on it. Honestly, at this point, I really should just say keep pronouncing it Grangar for trolls and giggles. But I know, and I speak English. Oh, that must be a slug, and I don't have enough room for it. That's fine. So, anyways, back to the skill settings. Yes. That's honestly probably why I call it that, is from Pokemon. But, okay. Anyways, stop getting distracted, Zach. Focus on what you were talking about. So, cooking, yes. Why is cooking my number one skill? And it's not just because I have it at level 64 and 1 quarter. That helps, but that's not the reason why. So I remember when I first started this game, I kind of did a deep dive. I started in late January. I did a deep dive on all the skills before kind of investing in any. I did, farming at first, um, but I didn't really do too much of anything else. There was a pay to airdrop, so I was kind of all over the place. I was like, well, let's try to get something from nothing. I think at that point, I was a week until it ended, which it's kind of crazy because I almost ended up in the top. I can't remember what. It was either 1,000 or 5,000 for you to be qualified to actually get some pixels. And I actually, with just a week left, I almost made it into that leaderboard spot because I focused on a lot of honey and wax. As you can see, it's level 18, going on 19 very shortly, probably another couple days in that. And while I was doing that, I was kind of researching all the skills. So after pay to earn or pay to airdrop, play to airdrop ended, I found out that cooking was by far the best skill. Now, this goes without saying, any skill worth going after is going to take some time. So looking at it and realizing, okay, well, this is going to take a while, but it is well worth it. So I focused primarily on cooking. I think at that point, my farming and my beekeeping, I can't even pronounce that word, so it's going to be beekeeping, were my two highest skills, and my cooking was my third. So after I realized that cooking was the best skill to level up, I only farmed grumpkins and grain bows so I can make my own flour. Again, I don't purchase that much from the market. I never have, because it's just, personally, if you can make it, why buy it? Unless I'm in a hurry and I just want to do a task board. That's why I don't do task board, because I have that mentality that, okay, well, if I'm doing task board, I just want to flip it, so I'm gonna buy it. And I hate buying stuff, so I just don't do the task board because I hate running back to my spec every single time, wasting 0.5 energy, coming back to the Terraville, and then 0.5 energy again going in to complete the task board. That's 1.5 energy. It's just not efficient. And now that buying from the marketplace takes 0.5 energy, it doesn't interest me whatsoever. But anyways, that's another side tangent of mine. So we're getting back to cooking. So I started off doing plain omelets until level 8. And then I sold them because they gave quite a bit of profit. No space for another silk slug. So I'm missing 2 silk slugs. That's fine. And a red egg, which is fine. So after I did plain omelets till like level 8, I did grumpkin loaves. I believe they unlock at 7 or 8. It's been a while, so I'd have to look it up, and I can look it up now that I'm done with that farming. I just wanted to finish that so I could run my hour timer for all 3 of those. So let us open this up. We can confirm the level. I think it's level 8 or not, or somewhere around there. Yeah, level 8. I was correct. So level 8 Grumpkin Loaves. And this is what I did until I got to level 15. So basically I just farmed nonstop. And remember, if you watched my stream yesterday and the day before, I talked about how it's much cheaper making everything than buying it. So even if you have a couple chicken coops that you're harvesting eggs from, you have enough eggs. You don't need to buy those. Okay? With Grumpkins, it doesn't take much to get your farming level up to farming grumpkins whatsoever. That should be around the same time you're getting that cooking up. So level 8, okay? So you're farming grumpkins at the same time. Yeah, see, and that's where a lot of people have that, oh, I'm broke now, because they just want to buy everything and not make it. And when you buy stuff, you're always going to be losing out for the most part whatsoever. So if you're making your own grumpkins, you're getting your own eggs, and you're getting grain bows, you're turning into flour. Now, granted, the flour is hard to get because of the windmills always being in use. Yeah, but it's a lot less. Yes, you are correct on that. So right now, windmills and Granger is a hot commodity. So maybe you can't find the flour, okay? So we're going to say you buy the flour because you can't find it. Yes, you're going to be spending an arm and a leg because everything's up, because windmills are hard to use. Or you can rent the windmill like I did previously, because I needed construction powder because I'm going to be making a bunch more grills. So I needed construction powder, and I need construction powder for a few other things as well. I can't remember off the top of my hand. And then I'll be making moo munches later. You gotta stay down here, buddy, please. Okay. You gotta go somewhere, though. Come, yes. I am fine with you over here. Okay. So, you buy your flour, but you craft everything else. So now you're cooking your grumpkin loaves, until level 15. So by that time, you should have your farming and your cooking up to where you can both plant scarrots and make scarrot loaves. Now, if we look at the scarrot loaves, literally the exact same recipe as the grumpkin loaves, but now they're scarrots. You're already harvesting your eggs. You're buying your mix from the store. And let's just say now you're doing half and half on the flour. You're buying half of the flour, you're making half of the flour. Okay? And with scarrot loaves, you can sell for a little bit of profit, or you can eat for energy. Now, what I did, because I don't use the marketplace, I had... At one point, I think I had almost 3,000 scarrot loaves. And that was when it was right before I messaged Sherry and said, hey, I'd like to be on your cooking team. She's like, well, you got to be level 26. And I was like, I think I was like level 24, 23. And I told her, I was like, don't worry, I'll get level 26 by tomorrow night or something like that. It was quick. And she was like, oh, okay, if you can do it by then, that's fine. Basically, I hammered it out. I watched episodes all day while having all the ingredients for this. Now, keep in mind, if you make everything and then you sell your loaves, you're going to be making more profit than what this says. This is if you buy everything off the market. Now, if you make everything, you're probably going to make about 30 to 50% more than what this is showing on the charts. So, if you make everything and then you sell everything, you're going to be able to buy more ingredients to make it again. So, if you see the cycle, you're going to be getting a lot more ingredients to do the loop longer before you have to sell or consume your food. And that's the whole point. And then you start getting that income rolling. Yeah. And you can do that. I mean, so then I think it took me around a week, and that was nonstop grinding on my cooking and my farming and getting flour from the Granger. Now, I was only on the Granger team, and I know I'm pronouncing it. I don't really care at this point. Um, I am level 33, almost 34 in the skill, and I was only on that team for like a week and a half, 2 weeks before I kind of had to stop it because I had this job and it was just up in the air, and I didn't want to hurt myself and hurt the guild, so that's kind of why I stopped it. But I was not on it for that long, so most of those levels did not come from the guild. That shows you how much flour I made myself just going around to windmills trying to get them. Now, granted, I am US based, so I had a better time in clicking and getting windmills. But that doesn't say you can't get them. Now, I will say, for the record, I did do this on a laptop. So for those of you who have a laptop, I would highly recommend, because it goes off your clicks and the first click. So if you have a laptop with a touchpad, plug in a mouse, and you will have double the chance of getting it. That is why I almost never missed. When I'm up on my laptop, I almost never miss getting a windmill because I have double the chance and I have insane APM. So for those of you who have a laptop and are trying to get windmills, use it. Utilize it. Utilize every single tool you can. So now, let's just say we're level 26. Okay? By that time, if you followed the information that I've provided, you should be roughly, I believe I was at about 750,000 net worth with 800 some loaves still in my inventory. And that was just, I had level 26 cooking, and I had farming, and I had a bunch of stuff on my spec in chests. I would make a chest here or there because I hated using the storages in the goose and the post office. I hated going in there and wasting more energy, so I just did my spec instead of going in both those places. So now you have a little bit of income in your pocket. You have a spec. Everybody has a spec. And you can put a grill down. That is the first thing that I did. Put a grill down and started grilling. You have more than enough to either you can make your own grill because you can buy the ingredients for it. You can make it, but you will not have the levels. This is the only time I will recommend buying because that is what I did. I did not have the levels and everything else to craft the grill or craft the ingredients for the grill, and I just wanted the grill. So I bought the grill, placed it, started making slabs immediately on my spec. And that is a net of almost 200 energy after you reduce all the ingredients and the 25 energy it takes to make it, which is a huge profit. And that's what I don't think a lot of people understand. Now, for the second skill on the list after the cooking, because 26 is the highest. So really, dry slabs, to me, are one of the best things. Now, the second skill I would go towards would be Granger. It's a little bit harder, kind of with that wood cutting. That's kind of why I veered away from the wood cutting, and I know my spec is done, but I want to get these other grills on a different land real quick. But I believe right now, because the windmill is only one person can use it, is the second best in profit wise. it leads to a lot of stuff that can double, quadruple your profit. This is not my land. This is someone else's land, and I'm using it while they're sleeping, and I kind of do the same ordeal. It's 50-50 split on grills and stuff like that. So with that being said, not everybody has the patience to stick around for 5 minutes, wait for a windmill, and try to get it. So if we're not looking at this, trying to craft flour, trying to craft moo munches, and construction powder. Those are the three that really you make profit, and you level it up like crazy. Moo munches are hard because it's only 5 minutes for the moo munch, and normally you can't get a windmill back to back, and since they're highly contested, most people don't do those. Usually if I do a public windmill, I will always do construction powder. You will make on that, especially if you're getting all your own ingredients from somewhere, putting them together, and making it from scratch. You'll net, after energy cost, I know the market's down a little, but this was about a week ago. You'll average, I think, on 12, about 1,000 gold. And that's from everything from scratch. So that's quite a big profit. It takes 60 energy to make them, and you make quite a bit from doing it. And that's per each one. Let me reiterate that. So we're gonna go down here. So right now, if you bought everything from the market, you would be making 5,000 gold on that. Okay, and that's from 12. And when I say 1,000 gold, I'm talking 1,000 gold for each individual powder. So that brings it from 5,000 to 12,000 that you're making. You see the difference? Like, it's such a huge difference when you're making all of your own stuff instead of buying it. The profit goes, yes, it's more time consuming, but it also levels up your own skills, which we're all looking for. This is what we want. We want to level up all of our skills because leaderboards are coming. We want to be a top tier guild to make more pixels, to get that contested land. And I can't stress it enough. Like, sorry, I got distracted. So, and my cat is blocking my skill list. So after those two, Forestry and Grenger I would kind of put in the same category. They're both really hard to do because they're so highly contested right now. So after we do those two, I would say the next best one is chicken coops. Aviculture. Gosh, man, my speech impediment is killing me. That would be the next best one. And then while you're doing that one, you can also do beekeeping. Those go hand in hand. You want to make some money? Do those two. Those two will give you a lot of profit. And if you don't get profit from those two, you're doing something wrong. And I will help you out in doing that correctly. But I mean, honey and wax, okay, yes, they're not super profit makers, but they cost like 2.5 energy per beehive. And then chicken coops cost what? Like 3? I think it's 1.5 per chicken. Yeah, 1.5 per chicken. I just wanted to make sure. So it's 3 energy for 2 eggs, and you're making almost 80 gold. Like, that's kind of insane. That's like 25 to 30 gold per energy use, which is, let's see how, 26. I was correct. I didn't even look at that before. Um, as far as profit, I would stay away from the slugger skill. If you're struggling with getting profit, so these two skills, Textiler, I'm just gonna jump now. Now that we covered the top couple skills, I'll kind of jump. Um, Textiler and Slugger. For those of you new, for those of you trying to level up your character, for those of you trying to make profit, stay away from those two. Don't do them. I don't care if you need plaster. I don't care if you need slime or thread or anything of those natures. Stay away from them. Don't touch them. Leave them 1-1. I'm serious. I know you want to level them up. You will get there. Don't do them right now. Just don't. Don't touch them. If anyone yells at you because they're low level, send them my way. I will tell them that I told you not to level them up until you get a nice profit pool going to where you can counteract that loss in those two skills. Because you're almost 100% of the time going to be losing from those two skills. And mining is another one that I would kind of hesitate telling people to go after. Mining, you can make a profit, but it is a percentage based chance on making that profit from those mines. Okay, if you're not getting the clay, you're not getting the salt block, you're not getting the void, you're not making profit. So again, if you're struggling in the profit market, stay away from mining. Mining is a chance percentage, and a lot of people don't have the best luck. It's luck based. Stay away from it. I know you want to level your skills up. That's not a skill you should be leveling up to make profit. You want to get a profit pool going before you start utilizing other skills. That is how you're going to succeed in this game. So we look at winemaking. That will come naturally. You don't have to do anything with that. So you're leveling up farming, okay? I'm to the point where I have a bunch of muck chucks saved because now I'm doing muck chuck meads every 7 hours. And that just came naturally. I literally didn't even try at that skill. So at first you make hopberry wine. Yeah, it's tedious. It's quick. And then I will show you my wife's account. I believe I have it pulled up because she's got orange grumpkins that she planted and she couldn't harvest again. So I will show you my wife's account. And this is the point where she's at. She's almost to the point of doing muck trucks, but she's not quite there. Let me harvest these for her and then I'll show her. So she's literally almost 32 farming to unlock muck chucks. So, Kitty, and she is level 29 in winemaking. Keep in mind, this is her only cycle, okay? She kind of copied my cycle, okay? She has bees, mines, bees, and chicken coops on each one. I'm just going to show you her cycle. And this is literally what she does usually every hour when she's home. She clicks. She doesn't do anything else. She's done. She's done with this piece of land. She goes here because it's 2 clay mines. Kitty, why'd you do that? She clicks, gets more eggs, activates these clay mines, which could net a loss or a profit depending on how much clay she gets. There, she got none. So that was a huge loss in her book. So we go, this land's locked. We bypass it. We can't put chickens because it's locked. And then we have another set of clay mines. She doesn't do anything extravagant. She collects these, and I've seen her do it. She lost a whole bunch of money because she made 0 clay. So this is what I was talking about. Right there, she lost so much money. If we wanted to calculate it out, I believe mines... Hey, you gotta stop. People are distracted by you, okay? Lay down, okay? Can you do that? No? Okay. I'm asking nicely. Okay. I forgot what I was going to do. Oh, I know what I was going to do. So, yeah, he is very cute. He follows me wherever I go. So we're gonna go to mining, okay? It takes 8 energy. So I just wanted to make sure. I figured it. I thought it took 8 energy, but I wanted to make sure before telling you guys. So 8 times 8. We wasted 64 energy for 72 ironite. And that made us a profit of, like, that made us lose, if we do the math real quick, 0.3. Like, oh gosh. She lost a lot of gold from that. And that's what I'm saying, like, it's just not profitable. But because of the route that she does, so now she'll collect more honey. This is all she does here. She collects those eggs too. She goes to this one. She collects these things of honey. She collects those eggs. She collects these eggs and this honey. And that is what she does almost every hour when she's home. That is her route. Now, when she has enough energy, this is what she does. She plants these until about 150 energy. She keeps 150 energy so she can keep doing her route. So she'll plant until she's out of seeds. I'll let her buy her own seeds. I won't spend her money. But I'll do this for her so they're ready when she's almost ready to log on. So she plants these. Now they're all planted. Water mints grow. Now she will go to Terravilla. When she has enough to make water mint whiskey, she will come down here. And keep in mind, so her concept is a little different from mine. She has probably made more pixels in this game than me. Even though I keep advising her not to do the task board, she does the task board, and she's probably made more pixels than me from the task board. She won't listen to me on that. So she'll come down here and she'll just make water mint whiskey. And literally, water mint whiskey is the only thing she has made on this account. I don't recall her ever having any other energy than water mint whiskey on this account whatsoever. And then normally she uses 1 or 2 a day. But she doesn't use it too often. Oh man, this is driving me insane. She's gonna yell at me because it's all not how she wanted it to be. Okay. Yeah. So that's literally all she does. That is her route. She doesn't make it too complicated. I mean, she is leveling up fairly decent. Okay. I don't know when she started, but she also doesn't play it a lot. So she started around the same time I did, but she doesn't do too much. She did get VIP from getting the pixels herself. So that tells you how much she does the task board, where I bought my VIP like 3-4 weeks in because I enjoyed the game. But yeah, she bought everything outright with pixels that she made in the game, and that was so she's done quite a bit. So now we're gonna close her or minimize her account and come back to my account, and let me store some of this stuff in here. Okay, we got eggs. Starting a new pile of eggs. And then I believe we're good to go. We're actually going to put these in here. We don't need 2 sets of things. Okay. So I just want to check some stuff, make sure we're not missing anything. Okay. So I talked about every skill pretty much except a couple. Woodworking kind of goes hand in hand with forestry. Forestry, I kind of said, you can do at your own risk. It's a nice profit maker, but it's very hard to get those trees because everybody is trying to nab them as well. Again, through the guild, you can rent them. You're still making profit depending on what the bid mark is, as long as you can get those 9 cuts. Even if you hire a lumberjacker to cut 1 cut, like a lot of people do, because everybody needs some sleep. I mean, even I get some sleep, and I've been getting a bit more sleep. Yeah, I'm here. Okay. So that's a problem. When I'm live, it doesn't ping me on certain stuff because it's taking away the sound. So anyways, so back to woodworking. Woodworking is kind of one of those skills you kind of want to slowly level up, because certain stuff. So planks right now, you'll make a bit of money. Sticks, you'll make quite a bit of money, but they're just a pain. I don't do them. But if you're like watching a series or something, yes, sticks are amazing. Click them, do them. Woodworking benches you can usually find. They're not too busy. I have a couple bookmarked, so if I want to make 4 sets of plank, I can usually go there. And I would say 80% of the time they're not being used. So that is another nice skill that you can kind of slowly level up. And that's kind of what I've been doing. That's one skill that I really haven't focused. I've just been kind of leveling up here and there when I don't have too much to do. And then as far as smithing or blacksmithing, that's what we're going to call it. Calling it blacksmithing. So, blacksmithing. So, despite, I'm assuming it's probably mostly negative. Let's just check. Let's check before I get into it. But, yeah. So, and that's kind of what I thought. So, you're still making a little, but it's not too much. So I can get to those questions real quick after I talk about this for a little bit. So with the clean, I don't know, Kylan. I hate. Why can't they just call it a blacksmith or something like that? Something everyone can say. Like, I'm old. You would think I would know these words, but I don't. So as you can see, glue just turned negative. Okay. So keep in mind, this profit also doesn't really reflect the energy usage. Forgery. Yes, it's a forge. We're using the forge, guys. Okay. So people that are making a bunch of ironite bars, you're making profit, but it's not quite 58 coins. Okay? Because keep in mind, iron is negative profit. Okay? And then you make into an ironite bar, so you're still making profit, but it's like very minute profit. Like I would say you're probably making half this profit. Bricks, you're probably making, because it costs a lot of energy, this profit does not factor in the energy cost efficiently. I've checked it. I've mathematically done it on my notepads. It doesn't take into account it effectively. I know it says it does, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. Anyone that wants to double check this and get back with me, if you want to try to disprove me on it, I am more than happy to look at it and say that I was wrong if you can disprove me on this. But you're not quite making that as well. That's another thing that you have to look at. Like, this takes the most energy out of everything to use besides construction powder. So this is another one where I would say stay away from until you get a profit pool going. So on a quick recap, we have cooking, we have farming. Okay, those two are kind of hand in hand. You want to do those. Those are the two that you should level up first. Yes, they're time consuming, but in the end, it's going to net you a huge profit. While you're doing those, you would want to do beekeeping, and you would want to do chicken coops. Those will net you a huge profit. You can sell them on the market. You don't really need those besides the eggs. You could probably, depending on how many coops you're going to, you could probably keep half of them and sell half of them. And that would cover your cooking base. So right there, if you did that hourly, so I set my alarms to hourly. I know honey you can gather every 45 minutes, but I hate going back for my chicken coops in 15 minutes. So I just put an hour timer on all of my honey and leave it at that. And I'll go harvest it in an hour. If you do that for 18 times, because you're going to sleep let's just say 6 hours. You do that 18 times, you're going to be netting, I think it was around 10,000, 11,000 a day just from honey. Now, you got wax, you got queen bees, chance, and then you have eggs. So you keep the eggs. Let's say you have 6 chicken coops. So you get 12 eggs. Yes, you get red eggs. So we're going to say you get 10 eggs. You get 1 or 2 explosives a day. And you do that 18 times. So that's 180 eggs. And you're selling them. You're selling half of them. You're keeping half for cooking and selling half. So you sell the other half for 40 cents a piece. You're making almost 4,000 with your explosives that you're selling on the market per day from just that. And that doesn't consume a whole lot of energy. I know you can do 18 runs of it because my wife does it like crazy. And then she just spends everything on the task board. And she's like a lot of people. She wants to complain she doesn't have enough funds. Well, when I've told her, time and time again. So, as you can see, like, there's 2 different sets of people. Some people are stubborn, like my wife, and want to do it this way. Granted, she's got nice levels. She's got a nice farming route. She's kind of got it. She makes the pixels. But I think in the long run, she's not going to excel as much as I have. Or she hasn't excelled as much as I have because she has been focusing on a different way. That's where you can kind of see two different things. Now, I will backtrack and go back to you guys' questions, because I think that about covers every skill that I wanted to cover. You got the landowner skill, the redifferentiator skill. But I'm not really going to talk about that bit because that's landowners and that's renting skills. And that's just making Hatatos. There's not really too much to it. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. That I will say for a different time. So, how do I play your account and my wife's account at the same time? It will not be tagged as multiple accounts. So, I have two different browsers. So, I have my account in Google Chrome, and I have my wife's account in Brave browser. And I don't think it's been flagged because I don't do anything bot-like. I stay away from pretty much everything bot-like. And I stay away from kind of what I think would be a red flag as far as anything like that. And because it's two different browsers, I don't think they're going to recognize it. Like, if I did another Google Chrome browser and kind of did a secondary wallet address on Google Chrome, I think it would tag it. But I have helped my wife's account for a month or so, and it hasn't tagged it. Now, that's not saying go make a second account and put it on another browser. No, I don't have VPN or anything. I just stay away from kind of what they've said not to do. Gotcha. Yeah, give me 1 second, guys. So 52 minutes, so we got a little bit on that still. And he said he would text me when he needed me. Okay. So now, did you memorize all of your items inside the storages? Yes, I did. So I can tell you from left to right what is in each storage. So I'll use my mouse. I was going to point to them, but I remember you can't see my finger pointing to the screen. So this one, without clicking it, is energy. Okay? And I will click them right after to show you. This is energy. This is my second storage of energy, partially empty. This is seeds. Okay? Now we got this row. This is eggs. Nothing but eggs. This is honey and wax. Nothing but honey and wax. I am a very organized person. This is wood. Hardwood, sap, wood. Nothing but wood. Now, the gaps that I have in between each thing is upgraded material. So you have your planks and you have your wood beams in this. Okay? And I'm running a little low, so I'll probably be crafting some in the near future. Now, in this row, you have your ironite, your clay, your salt blocks, and your void. That's empty because I just sold a little bit of iron because it's so low, and I make so much ironite because I'm trying to get salt blocks and clay because I have such a big profit pool coming in. So again, there's a space. So I have these as upgraded materials. So this is your construction powder. This is your bricks, which I have in my inventory. This is your glue. This is your shrapnel, your bombshells, stuff like that. I put crafting mix in there because it kind of makes sense to put it in kind of a blacksmithing. This is all my food. As you can see, this is my largest stockpile because I'm farming quite a bit. So the first one is like my cotton candies. my orange grumpkins, anything that's kind of event related, I have put in there or not marketable. So you got some heartbeats, you know, orange grumpkins, all my cotton candies. My second one is for my cooking. So I have grumpkins in this, and sometimes this is full depending on how many slabs I have, and how many grumpkins I have. This is grain bows, and cooking mix because of Moo Munches. This is Astras, and I have a second row of that. This is Watermint or Scarrots, I think. No, it's potatoes. It's potatoes. Haha, I got it before I opened it. Had to do it. This is some potatoes, and this is a mix between popberry, clover, four-leaf clover, stuff like that, muck chucks. Muck chucks, I will eventually be making a separate row for, because I am getting to the point where I can plant a lot more muck chucks and not be losing a lot. And do that. And then after that, we have the watermint and Scarrots. This is this row, so we have Scarrots, and then we have watermints. And then this is kind of upgraded stuff. It's cow milk, it's flour, pet treats, Moo Munches, poo dung, you know, and stuff like that. This, you have your slug skill, so you have soak, you have the soak slime, and you have the soak slug spider, and this is upgraded stuff, so it's like your plaster, your soap cloth, your soap rope. This is all of my tools and special event stuff. So this is like my grills, my woodworking benches, my soil, key, you know, more fish, tools, event stuff. This is kind of where I put it here. You got drills, some congium, remover and stuff, and then all of my this is the new, basically I find it and I put it in here, and then down here is my client's chests. So they message me, they ask me to cut their trees, I say sure, not a problem, and I label all of them with a line of chests. Now, if I do need more chests, depending on if I have 5 clients for the night, sometimes I've had 6, so I've had to pull some chests down here to make a 6 row, and I put them all in a chest. This is all of clients one's wood, softwood, hardwood, and sap. I won't touch it. Any trees that I cut from clients one land, I will put in here. And as soon as he messages me, he'll come to my spec, and we will trade. And that is pretty much it. I do have storage in the post office, but that's mainly tickets. It's pretty much full of tickets. But I kind of keep a good cycle between things. I think I'm missing a couple things that I don't use in other places, but for the most part, I mean, that's pretty much it. I kind of keep it cycling, and I reinvest in a lot of my skills. As you can see, you know, most of my skills are pretty high level, so I try to keep them overall the same. So I'll lose profit here and there depending on what skills I put into. So I kind of keep a balance on things and where to put it. So 50, give me 1 second and let me map this out so that way I know when the next cut is for this guy. Man. Okay. We're oof. Let's do a different one. Okay. So give me 1 second. Okay. So he said his trees were up on this land. We're gonna assign him chest row 2. So got another client who will be assigned these 2 chests, and that will be his. As you can see, they're empty right now. There should be nothing in these 4 rows of chests because they are strictly for wood and clients. So he said 52 minutes, and that was at 4:50. So that was 30 minutes ago, so 22 minutes, and they are up. Start that. And then we got another land. We got 3715. Again, same guy. And that is an hour and 15 minutes from now. Okay. So that probably just came up about a minute ago. So we'll do that. And then once I get these grills going, we can talk about Chapter 2 and what I think will be the best skills in Chapter 2 from some of the hints that I've picked up on. And I mean, if you can already guess, there's one skill that's always going to be on top. And I'm sure you guys probably guess it from how I talk about it here. Okay. So, wait 1 second, guys. Okay. Oh, I gotta translate some stuff. Okay. Oh man, so many things. Okay. So, anyways. What was I going? Chapter 2. So, in Chapter 2, things are going to be changing quite a bit differently. As you saw in some of the AMAs, people are going to be using stuff single use. So not everyone's going to be using a mine. Not everyone's going to be using all these industries that everyone can use now. So it's not only going to jack the prices up, and that's why I tell everyone the last couple things. If you can, hold your resources. Hold everything. Because everything in Chapter 2, I think, is going to go up. And same with coins. Like, coins are going to go up in value a lot. Because it's just how the gameplay changes are coming into effect in Chapter 2. Now, if we dive deeper and kind of get into what skills I believe are going to be significantly better in Chapter 2, I will rate them by tier list. Again, everything can change and will change in Chapter 2 going forward, so this could totally change when Chapter 2 comes out. But in Chapter 2, I think it's going to be cooking, which most of you should have guessed. Cooking by far number 1 because there's going to be new recipes. I'm sure the higher tier recipes are going to give more energy per energy, I guess would be the more energy per coins, I guess you could say, because it's still going to consume energy. You could translate it to coins, so I guess more energy per coins ratio. And then after that, I think it's going to be a toss-up, but I really think beekeeping is going to be the second best skill. And the reason I say that is because I think he's going to be nerfing hives, and seeing as we don't have any hives in the guild, If I was a guild and I had those 2 lands with 8 hives come chapter 2, I might lock them to make that less hives available for the public use. And same with a lot of guilds. I think I would lock them. In the short term, you would be losing money, but in the long term, you would be gaining a lot of money and your guild would be profiting. So that's just what I would do. But I don't have hives, so I can't do that. So beekeeping, I would put as number 2. Number 3, I would probably say coops would be a close third, right behind hives. And then number 4, I would have to go back to farming. And then number 5, depending on, because I did see, you know, the mines and everything. Again, the spec, you got to remember, people are going to be putting stuff on their spec. Mines are still a lot, so I think mines are going to be 5. And the reason I say that is because I think Ironite, which it sounds like is going to be copper now, is going to be more valuable because you're going to need it to upgrade to that tier 2. You're going to need it for upgrading your equipment to tier 2. It's going to have a lot more utility, a lot more use than it does now. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you don't need to sell your Ironite right now, might be best to keep it, because I think it's going to be converted to copper and it's going to be going up in price. And you have to remember, mines are a one-time use by people in chapter 2, it looks like. They're not going to be able to be used by everyone. So gather what you can, hoard it, and keep it. I could be wrong. Ironite could be completely something else and not copper. This is just kind of what I'm thinking, and it's my opinion. So after mining, we kind of get into these other skills that are kind of there, but we aren't 100% certain. So the reason why forestry kind of goes down on my list is because everyone's going to be having trees. You can now buy trees and you can plant trees. So now you're going to be getting a bunch of specs that have trees. You're going to be getting a lot of lands that say, oh, we're going to mass produce trees. So I think trees are going to be on the lower tier of the list, but they're still going to be valuable. So people with high forestry right off the bat might benefit a lot more, and it might be higher on the tier list than somebody with lower forestry, because of the tier 2 and the tier 3 trees. They'll still be valuable, but I definitely would put that on kind of 5 or 6 on my list. Then after forestry, and I haven't talked about pet care, I'm not going to until we know more on it. That I'm just brushing that off to the side. We're not worrying about it. That's another profit loss skill. Stay away from it if you want to get more profit build up. That is a pure profit loss right now. So after forestry, I'm going to have to put Grengar. Milling. And that, I think milling, for the most part, it looks like it's going to stay very similar to what it is now. So because of the supply and demand on milling and how it is right now, I don't think it's going to change whatsoever come chapter 2. There's just going to be tier 2 and tier 3 resources added to the milling. So it's going to still be in demand. You're still going to profit from it regardless of pretty much whatever you craft from it. So it's kind of, it's right there with forestry to me. Um, it's really, I don't think it's going to go up. I don't think it's going to go down. Uh, it's just kind of going to stay the same. So now we get into the skills that are kind of a wild card in chapter 2. I don't have a good sense enough to sit here and even with my opinion say I think blacksmithing is going to be really great or it's going to be really bad. Right now, I think it's really bad. I think it's a low tier skill that you don't make like anything. It's just a skill you level up. In chapter 2, again, because it uses so much energy, and that's what I'm looking and basing it off of. It uses so much energy that I'm not sure how it's going to do in chapter 2. Um, I think he's trying to make everything better. So if you put forth the time, you're going to make a lot more. So blacksmithing could be a lot better. And when I talk about blacksmithing, I'm talking about using the forge or the Kalin. Gosh, I hate that word. Please, Luke, if you ever watch this, rename it to a forge or a blacksmith. Please. And then you have your textiler and your slugger. So these are also wild card skills. And the reason for this is I might leak. I don't know if I want to say leak, but I might be throwing something that I don't think a lot of people are grasping their heads around. Okay? Take the slugger skill for right now, okay? Think of the 3 items that you get from that. And we're going to go over to the skills and resources page, okay? And this is just speculation. This silk slug spider. It's used for one thing, and that was for an event. Now, why would Luke and Heidi throw this in the game with only one use? Maybe for people who hoard it for oncoming events. Granted, I know it was to craft the Mocha Stars, and that was a big event in the past. But if you look at how the task board played out and how their recent events, because now people are complaining about Shoreline and their Shoreline seeds and how expensive they are, and you can't get them because they were a seasonal event. Well, if that doesn't tell you how Luke and Heidi like to operate things with people hoarding things, so people that are hoarding things make money, that should give you a hint on how they kind of play out their game in the future and in the coming days. If you look at heartbeat seeds, okay, I still have 100. I will probably just save them. I don't really use them. Once in a while, when the task board comes up with 1 heartbeat for 2 pixels, I'll do it. And I plan on having those 98 heartbeats until the next go around, because I don't want to be stuck with no heartbeats and a heartbeat task comes up, or maybe something in the future has a heartbeat wine quest and it's not the next February yet, so I can't get more. So I'm going to hoard on to those 98 heartbeat seeds like my life depends on it. Give me 1 second. Let me look at this real quick. is that? Okay. So, but that is kind of my intuition about what is going on in chapter 2 and where it's kind of heading as far as that. Um so you kind of have to look at the utility of things and what you're gathering as far as the hints from these AMAs, because you know for a fact Luke and Heidi are throwing hints. They might be, you know, saying something in pure detail, but you have to pick up on the hints that they throw, because they definitely do have the hints there. So uh, my wife will be coming home with the baby soon, so I will more than likely be calling it here soon. But I wanted to jump on, and try to get a daily thing going, um, and talk about a different topic every day and so forth, um, and go from there. Kind of start establishing a routine. Uh, Now this was about an hour earlier, just because I got pissed off at work and told my boss that I wasn't working anymore for the rest of the day because I was pissed off at how they handled things and stuff like that. So more than likely, I will probably start a live stream around 5 o'clock, and I will probably go to probably a good half an hour to hour, depending on the topic and basically what's happening in the game. I think it will bring a good insight. And again, I want this to be, if you guys have a question, that's anywhere remotely, and even if it's not, I will probably answer it. But please feel free to ask. I will give you my input. If it's wrong and if you have something that disproves it, please share that as well. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm 100%. I know everything, because I don't. I mean, look, I don't know how to speak Tagalog. I mean, that proves that I don't know everything. So, but yeah. So let's pull out some of these seeds. And we're gonna do some Grumpkin farming, because this is so midday right after work is kind of when I do my Grumpkin farming. Wife will be home in probably 15 minutes. That should give me a little bit of time. She'll understand why I don't come up right away. And then I'll make dinner, and then we'll go, and I'll probably watch the baby for a bit, and then water my... Oh, I missed a Grumpkin. I suck. I have gotten like 48 orange Grumpkins the last like 6 days. That's why I have so many Grumpkins. What's the best crop to level up farming? Currently level 30 right now. So that really depends on your outlook. Are you just going for XP? Do you have a good enough profit pool to where you're not concerned about making a bunch of money? And you're basically just flipping stuff as soon as you sell it? What are you generally looking at? Because you're 30, so you can't do muck trucks. They don't give a lot of XP anyways. So that's really the only crop you cannot do. So what are your intentions behind it? Are you just trying to level it? And how much of a gold pool do you have, if you don't mind me asking? Because that would give me a better understanding on what crop to suggest. And while you respond to that, I'll kind of give you what I'm doing. So I do a series of normally 1,000 to 3,000 Grumpkins a day, depending on how I feel. Today I'll be doing roughly 1,999, as you can see in my inventory, and that's with my mining row. The reason why I have this is because I'm not too worried about profit right now. I want my levels. I have enough profit. If I need to sell some softwood, I will sell some softwood. That's the only thing I sell. Level up while earning. Okay. So leveling up while earning. Okay. 280k coins. So you have a nice pool. You want to get some profit. Now, how much profit? Do you want maximum profit from farming? Do you want minimum profit for farming? These are all the questions that you have to ask yourself when doing skills. Farming, you're always going to make stuff. It's, do you want maximum farming or maximum profit? Do you want minimum profit? Do you want maximum XP? Do you want minimum XP? Do you want maximum time doing stuff? Like, when I say that, I mean, like, Grumpkins are the maximum time in doing things. Because you have to check on them twice. You have to water them twice. So are Grumpkins an option for you? That's basically what I'm asking. So with my farming routine, and let's just say you don't do the mining. This is the route that you want to do, okay? I do this route once in the morning, once in the evening, and once at night. So in the morning, I usually do Scarrets, Astras, and Water Mints. I have been holding all of mine because I have a big enough pool to where I can hold all of my stuff. You will make profit from all of them except Astras. Astras, you will not make a single dime. Oh, hold up. So we have for 1349. 1349. We have to cut some lumber for somebody. Make sure we have enough slots. So, with what I just said, with Astras, Scarrets, did they just spawn all at once? Did he cut that many trees all at once? He must have just went around and had them all one chop left. But Scarrets and Water Mints, you will make money back. Astras, you will not. I would suggest, if you're planning Astras, to hold on to them. And then in the middle of the day, when I have time, I will do a round of Grumpkins. Again, usually 1,000 to 3,000 a day. That is what I'm comfortable with. And I do that route that I was currently doing. I don't do any other routes in the morning and evening until nighttime. Now, when nighttime comes, I will do a couple more routes that I have, and I will plant Scarrets, Water Mint, and Astras again. And so that is another thing. So depending, and this is where your other skills come into play, and not just hold up, give me 1 second. Let me refresh this timer. Okay. And this is where your other skills come into play. Now, are you a pure farmer? So you can't cook anything? You can't do any winemaking? Because that also answers some questions regarding on how to go about things. I didn't get any sap. for him. Dang. I'm sorry, man. Maybe your next cut will give you some snap. Because if you can't make your own food, that does hinder your profit quite a bit. Even if you can make some slabs on your spec from a grill, that raises your profit by a whole lot. So let's just say, for example, you don't have cooking up, you don't have winery up, so you pretty much buy whatever is low on the market. You're basically selling and buying. So then you look at that chart. But if you're making your own food, then you don't need to look at that chart. Okay? So if you're making your own slabs, I would suggest, because in the middle of the day I suggested plant grumpkins to where you can water them twice. That would give you your slab count with grumpkins, and grain bows you can buy. There's not much profit in planting and harvesting grain bows. I do plant my own and harvest just because I want the XP. But you're making very little with grain bows right now. So I would just suggest buying grain bows from the market. I don't do that with too many things, but grain bows is kind of one of those things where you can buy from the market and not lose too much if you really want to. Or you can just plant 60 and not have to worry about it. And that's 60 slabs. Totally your call. But back to farming. So grumpkins, I would say, are by far the best. And they will always be the best right now until new changes come. Just because nobody really wants to water them twice. Okay. So what I did was I did scarrots. And I did scarrot loaves. And while you're doing that, let's say you do this route, okay? You plant a bunch of scarrots. You're going to make scarrot loaves, okay? There is a bunch of windmills and there is a bunch of chicken coops on this farming path. So you're getting your eggs, and maybe once in a while you get your flour. Like I said earlier, you buy half of your flour, you make half of your flour, and you're golden. Because windmills are highly contested. So I'm assuming I probably did not get a salt block. So right there, I lost a whole lot of profit because I didn't get any salt blocks. So that was just a negative profit of like 1,600 gold right there. Alright, not quite that much. I'm exaggerating a little, but I exaggerate, so I always make profit. I gotta get this farming done before the wife gets home. So then I can say, when the hour and a half is up, be like, I need to go water my plants or else they're gonna die. And she'll be like, okay, go water your plants and then make us dinner. I do this once a day, by the way. I do it. You can ask her. I literally say that to her like every day. Once a day. She knows it's coming too. Like, sweetie, I need to go water my grumpkins or else they're gonna die. She's like, okay. Okay, but after, I want you to make me this. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So there's two things that you can do with level 20 cooking. We're gonna circle back. I'm gonna circle back on that. I got sidetracked again, like I always do. So with level 20 cooking, if you want XP, and it's still a profit, but it's not a huge profit, you can go with Scarlet Loaves. If you want a bigger profit, but less XP, let me back up. Because I'm talking about both of them, both of the skills at the same time. So for farming, Grumpkins are actually the better XP wise, and same with profit wise. They take Scarrets over both. They just demand 2 water sessions. Okay, now we go to cooking. We have Grumpkin Loaves, which give better profit, but less XP. Where Scarlet Loaves give less profit, but more XP. So it really depends on what you're after with that. Both give profit, both give XP. One gives more than the other. But as far as farming, Grumpkins give better both. I've mathed it out. They just they're more time consuming. And as long as you have the time, I'm waiting for her to come in and be like, I need you to get the baby. Because she can't get the baby, or the car seat out of the car. She can, but she asks me to do it. And I say yes, because I'm a good husband. Sometimes. Just sometimes. Does that help you a little? 6 salt blocks? What? What? Now that was mega profit right there. 6 salt blocks. Whew. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of different types of gamers that play this game, okay? And people have to realize that not everybody has the same background while playing the game. I come from a background where I grew up playing StarCraft 1, RuneScape, and those were like the big 2 games that I grew up playing. So like both of those games have math heavily entangled in them. So when it comes to like doing mathematical stuff on the fly and weighing my net profit versus net loss, I'm pretty good at that for the most part, just looking at them. And now that there's a chart, it makes it even easier, and I can do it much quicker. And not everybody was raised in that type of format. You know, you have other people who have really good reflexes, like first-person shooters, third-person shooters, you know, stuff like that. So you'll have people that are, I mean, as long as they have the ping, they'll be better at taking mills. They'll be better at taking mines in Chapter 2. They'll be better at a lot of stuff come Chapter 2, in my personal opinion, because they have a different set of skills than other people. Oh, Void. I missed if I had Void or not. And then you have, you know, people that were brought up on puzzles, puzzle games, escape rooms, stuff like that, that are going to be really good at riddles, that are going to be really good at, you know, puzzles, mazes, you know, stuff like that, which I'm decent at. but there's definitely a lot of people better at that than myself. I would say I'm above average in that, but I'm nowhere close to the top in that. But mathematical skills, I would definitely say I'm towards the top. There's always going to be somebody better that you meet. But I'm pretty good at gauging how to kind of average stuff out. As you can see, all my skills are pretty much even besides my cooking. So, and that's kind of what we need in a guild. We need all those players to function, and we need to find a set skill for everybody. We got some more grills up. I'll do a couple more. What we'll do is we'll actually probably plant all these actually. And depending on how long it takes. Yeah, this is usually what I do around the same time every single day. I didn't feel like spending too much time today on Grumpkins because I mainly, so after I'm done here, what I will probably do is do Moo Munches on my mill that I rented until my next watering. And then after my next watering and harvest, I will be doing Moo Munches for the rest of the night on my mill. Because I want more Moo Munches to feed to the cow. I need more milk. I like me milk. Milk gives me strong bones. Honestly, I hope in future updates, and this is where I really hope they go with the game, because I do like playing Sims and stuff. I feel like they made Sims nowadays overly complicated. Like, I liked when Sims was basic, but you could still do a bunch of stuff. Or even like Roller Coaster Tycoon, building your own roller coasters, like, or Zoo Tycoon, where you could build your own zoo. I really hope they incorporate something like that in these games. Like, okay, you got chickens right now, you got bees, you got one cow that produces milk for every single person. Like, I feel like they definitely could integrate more animals and have people kind of make farms. Like, could you imagine, okay, they could probably do pigs. And you could slaughter them for bacon. You know, you'd have to feed them treats, or, you know, more utility for pet treats. You could feed them pet treats. You know, you feed them every 3 hours or 6 hours or something. They have stages to them. And then once they hit the final stage, you can slaughter them by using an axe. And then you can grill them. You can, you know, I don't know. You can do other stuff with them, and then you can make bacon. You can make pork. You know, you can do any of that. Like, there's so much stuff that I feel like they could do with this game. They have the potential. Granted, you know, they're taking it one step at a time. They're being careful at overloading themselves. But I'm very excited on seeing where they take it. And what they do with it. But I'm really hoping that they do more with the animal aspect, because I personally would love to run my own zoo. Like, if in future updates Sherry gave me a land and I could just manage a zoo, and like, oh, that would be awesome. Like, I would make sure my zoo was the best around, and people would come for any sort of meat, you know, and stuff like that. I know I'm getting so off topic, but I can't stress enough on how awesome that would be. I mean, they already have pets. Like, I mean, it sounds like they're doing pet PvP. You can make underground battle arenas. I don't know. Oh, wife just got home. She's gonna ask me to get the baby. Yeah. No, why? What's up? Oh, where's the baby? Okay, I'll go grab her. Okay, I will be right back. And then after this run, I will be calling it. BRB. Okay. So we're gonna finish this route. Takes us to 81. And then I got 4 girls that are up. Nothing. But yeah, see, there's a lot of coops on this. I mean, if you add it to your daily routine without mining, you're gonna make profit from. That was nice 6 flag. Hey, Cloud. No salt again. Like, this is what I'm saying. This is a perfect example. Like, the last couple salt mines, I haven't made any salt. So I've lost. And there's another one. Like, that's 12 mines that I've just lost a bunch of profit. It's not worth it normally. And that's why I said kind of stay away from it. If you're looking for profit, don't do mines right now. They will only lose you profit. For Salt Block, that was a nice one. That covered a bit more. Okay. So we're gonna set these grills going again, and then we're gonna call it because I gotta go upstairs and hang with the baby and the wife, make some dinner, and then I'll water my grumpkins here in an hour or so. Excuse me. Okay. So guys, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Hopefully you gained something out of everything that I went over today. Again, some of it is speculation. It's kind of all over the place. Take some of it with a grain of salt. But other stuff I feel like is definitely kind of a need to know thing to get better, to maximize your profit, and kind of get stuff out of it. So, but anyways, until tomorrow, I'm trying to figure out this whole YouTube thing on how to make it so, like, you know when my next live stream is. So I'm still in the process of figuring YouTube out, and go with that and kind of make like highlights and clips on YouTube because I'm used to Twitch. So, but more things to come in the future, better things to come. So, anyways, I'm out. I don't want to keep my wife waiting too long. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day / night wherever you are. And happy farming on Pixels.